Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul, if Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign. This is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we begin with the Hierophant. This is position 1 of our spread. It's called the Station. This is our subjective experience. I feel like this is the way you see yourself right now. And you see yourself as somebody with wisdom. And you are indeed somebody who has been through a lot. You have the experience. You've been through a lot in your life, right? And so there's kind of this inner wisdom. There's a sagely energy about you right now. I feel like you're either in some sort of a teaching role, or you're growing in the awareness that you have enough experience at something that you could teach a class on it, right? It's kind of like, I know that so well, I could teach a class. Yeah, it's kind of to me, it feels like a recognition of our, I guess, maybe our accomplishments, but our recognition of our experiences. And the way that you're able to take your experiences and assimilate them, to bring them into you, and they sort of take hold and they transform you, and you grow through those processes. Okay, I think you're somebody with a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, a lot of good advice for people. I feel like people are always coming to you for advice, right? And people tend to trust your opinions, or to trust your evaluation, or even your recommendations about things. Maybe you are a teacher, or maybe you're more of like a counselor or something like that to people. Okay, maybe you do it professionally, maybe not. Maybe you just find that you're always giving good advice to your people, to your friends and family. Whether they take the advice is up to them, but I feel like you're the go-to person for a lot of that. When anybody is having a problem, let's go ask Leo, Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what's happening in your life right now. Here we have a 7 of Swords. We have the Art or Temperance card. We have a Queen of Pentacles. That makes perfect sense. We have a 2 of Swords. We have a Princess of Swords. Kind of feel like we're very good at giving other people advice, but we're having a bit of trouble making a decision. We're kind of giving ourselves the sagely advice, It's like we're really good at solving problems and understanding the situations, but you're in a position now where you're having a little bit of trouble. Okay. Here we have the Lover's card. We have a Prince of Wands, excuse me. We have a Knight of Cups and a Prince of Pentacles. Double Taurus energies here, by the way. If I were you, I would watch the Taurus reading, because this is a Taurus card and this is a Taurus card. These are both builder energies, fixed earth energies. What we have here is a lot of court cards. We have, I believe, a family situation. We have an older female energy, and even perhaps an older male energy that are influencing your life still in some way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 court cards, not to mention this is a person, this is a person, these are people, right? A lot of people here. And of course, what you have is the thoughts, the decision that you have to make. And what I believe the Seven of Swords is indicating right now is some situation where there are a lot of other opinions. A lot of people are maybe like trying to tell you what to do, and you're trying to rely on your own inner wisdom. It could be that you're making decisions for a large group of people, and they all have different desires, they all have different needs and wants and hopes and dreams, and they all have a different agenda or different requirements. You could be in a position where you're kind of trying to please all the people all the time, right? You might be in the middle of something that you are acting as an advisor or a mediator or a counselor, but it's very hard to come up with a kind of a win-win situation where everybody kind of gets what they want. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Alien Simon Mork Ripley, or ASMR for short. Right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Yeah, let's use our intuition. Now, as we look around the room, we see some major arcana energies. And we see, obviously, you, the Hierophant, okay? The one who's kind of in charge, the one who's responsible for making all the decisions right now and giving the advice and kind of, to me, it feels like trying to keep everybody happy in a way, right? We have the Temperance card or the Art card, which is kind of this pressure cooker. I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself right now, which may or may not really need to be there. We see the Lover's card as sort of the objective version of yourself. Right? This is how you see yourself. You're responsible for everybody. You've got to try to do what is right on everybody's behalf and kind of make everybody happy. Like you've got to have the perfect solution to something, right? You've got to be the one who knows all the answers. But maybe the Lover's card over here has the objective view of yourself. The way other people see you, people don't really need the right answers from you. I feel like people just need you. Does that make sense? I feel like we kind of are, we're kind of assuming that I have to give some advice to people, that people want to know what to do. Maybe in this particular situation in your life, whatever it is, people don't really need the advice. People just want your company. People just want to know you, Leo, you know? People just want to be around you and have that bond with you. It may not be about, you know, there's nothing really we have to say or nothing we really have to do except just be present, okay? And sometimes I think that's important. People just want to have you there as a shoulder, as a solid, stable person with them in their lives. Not necessarily the one who is, you know, is giving the advice, you know. I feel like, though, you're also someone who has a difficult time following their own advice sometimes, okay? Because I think that sometimes we know the right thing to do, we sometimes feel something different, okay? It could be that our wisdom says one thing, but then like our heart is saying like it doesn't matter what I know, you know, I know the right answer, I know the solution, but I can't bring myself to do it because I want this union. This is a card of union. This is a card of choice. Okay. So anyway, we've got our majors. We have fire, we've got water, we've got air and air and air. And then, of course, we have our earth cards, a lot of court cards. There's a group of people around you. All the court cards together represent a lot of other people. Your family, your employees, your friends, whatever, coworkers, strangers even. A lot of people around you. This is about your role in groups of people, okay? The court cards by themselves all represent different types of your energy, different events, different characteristics of you, but together as a group, right? And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people right now. You're dealing with a real group kind of issue, yeah. Our second card is the Seven of Swords right now, and it feels like it's very hard to please all the people. The Seven of Swords is usually a card of, I kind of want to do this thing, right? The central sword, that Ace of Swords right in the middle. I want to do that thing. But everybody else kind of has a different idea. Everybody else has a different opinion, you know. And so it feels like you're meeting with a lot of resistance. Maybe this is a work thing or a family thing, and you're kind of the one that feels like, I've got to make a decision. I've got to be the one to lead us here. But everything I want to do, it feels like I'm going to be upsetting a lot of other people. Okay, this is maybe the card of criticism. This is the card of, you know, I think I have the answer, but then I start getting distracted by all these other possibilities. This is position 2 for you. This is the battlefield position. It's kind of saying, like, this is your quest right now. This is your challenge, to stick to what you believe is the right answer, even when everybody else has their own opinions. Okay? Whether you're doing something that's just for you and everybody's telling you what they think, or you're doing something for the, you know, you're kind of leading the whole company or the family. You're the one driving the car, so to speak. You have to do what you feel is right. You have to make the choice that feels the best to you in your energy and your wisdom. We can take all the other opinions into account. You can listen to what everybody else wants to do. What they're like, you're kind of having like a board meeting, right? You can listen to everybody else, giving their thoughts and their feelings and their presentations, but ultimately the decision lies on your shoulders. Okay, and maybe it's just that, you know, whatever happens is going to be on you. It's your name on the paperwork, so to speak. Okay, or it's literally like it's your boss. You're the boss. It's your decision. Maybe you're the CEO, the principal of the school. Maybe you're the head of the family. Whatever it is. Okay, and that 7 of Swords is very difficult because we feel like at every time I reach a decision, I think I got the answer. There's all these other things, all this other data that comes in that says, well, gosh, now maybe not. Maybe that wasn't the right answer, you know. Now, I don't know what the situation is. It could be something that has to do with finances or money or some sort of property or some sort of estate, okay? This is a card of distraction. I think Spirit's telling you right now, don't be too distracted by what everybody else thinks or what everybody else wants or what everybody else's opinions are. You've got to follow your truth and your experience right now. We're going underneath the surface now to position 3. And this is the position in your soul. This is the pressure. It's the pressure cooker. It's the blacksmith's anvil. And this is coming from inside of you. So I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself right now because it feels like this is a critical decision. It feels like if we do the wrong thing here, it's going to affect a lot of people. We got to find something that's going to be good for everybody. Good for the company, good for the school, good for the friends, good for the family. It may be that you're the one in charge of the finances. And so there's a lot of pressure for you to make the right kind of financial decisions. I feel like there's something going on about money here. It usually is. When it comes to family, it's usually about money, right? Or something like that. We're trying to avoid any unnecessary suffering. We're we're feeling the pressure anyway. And again, this is inside of you. I think you're putting the pressure on you. Nobody else is really doing much, except, of course, they're telling you their opinions. This is what I think. This is what I want. This is what you should do, and like that. So I think you're someone who's very good at giving advice. You don't really want to take it from other people, you know. It's and so I think that we hold ourselves to a very high standard. Let's put it that way. And I think that this is a situation now where your decision is really going to affect other people's happiness, their well-being, other people's kind of life path, and kind of it's going to affect the future for a lot of other people. Okay. The 4th card in our spread is the dwarf position, the Queen of Pentacles in the background here. This is somebody who's looking at the past. Okay, this is somebody who is looking at the long and winding road. First of all, this card is about all the ups and downs and twists and turns of your life that has brought you to that Hierophant energy. Because you've been through a lot in your life, you have the experience, you've distilled all of that experience into wisdom. That's one thing that the Queen of Pentacles does. Understands the past, distills it down into little kernels of wisdom that we keep with us so we can make good decisions, and so we can move into the future and we can do the right thing. Okay. Your experience is just it's a compilation of your life experience, giving you the wisdom to make the decisions. That's why it's on your shoulders. That's why it kind of feels like everybody trusts you to do the right thing, even though everybody has their opinions. That's why you're in this role, and this is also another confirmation that you need to trust what your gut tells you or what your higher wisdom tells you, because you have the experience that kind of it's experience that now has been transformed into wisdom. Okay, because you've been through it, you know what to do now. Of course, we don't want to be so close-minded that we think, oh, I know everything, right? So that's why you're listening to the other people. You're listening to everybody around you. And it's kind of leading us to a little bit of confusion, I guess. Or a little bit of kind of too many things to consider. I feel like we're right on the edge of overthinking it. Yeah. But specifically, in this situation, I feel like you understand something that happened in the past. It was an ending of some kind, and you saw the mistakes that were made, and now that you're in charge, or now that I don't know if this situation has come back around again, or you're in a similar situation, you know what to do, right? It's like you've learned from some past mistake or some kind of a mismanagement, okay? It's kind of, it feels like a family thing, but it really could be something going on at work. I don't know exactly your situation. But this is in the past, looking at the past, understanding the road that you've traveled. This is a card of karma. We understand that all of our thoughts, words, and deeds has created this moment. That it's through our choices that we arrive where we arrive in life. Of course, there are things that happen outside of our control. We can't choose everything that happens, but we can choose our responses to things. It may be that you've made some choices in your past that maybe if I had more information, I would have made different choices. Okay, we can't all make great choices every time, But I think we learn from those choices. And now we're understanding that I do have to take everybody's opinions into account. I have to listen to everybody. But ultimately, I got to do what I think is right. And the Two of Swords, of course, at the top here, it's the looming presence. This is the shadow of the whole reading. This is the reading in a nutshell. You got to make a decision here. Okay, now the Two of Swords seems like it's easy. I do the math, and I get my answer. I weigh the options, and one of them emerges as the winner. But this really, to me, feels like a multiplication sign. It feels like we're multiplying thoughts. The more we think about it, the more we think about it. The more I listen to other people and I get more data, the more I have to sort it out, think about it, the more I have to analyze it. Thoughts beget thoughts, beget thoughts. The 2 becomes a 4, becomes an 8, becomes a 64, a 128, a 256, etc. So that's not the solution, because we can think about this all day and not reach a conclusion. The clue is at the very top of the card. It's the crescent moon. I feel like you're somebody who is learning how to trust in your instinct. It's kind of like once you've been through something so much, you don't really have to even think about it anymore. You kind of just know. It's like you develop a sixth sense about it. Let's say this is some kind of a financial thing or some kind of thing at work. It's like, I've been through this enough that now I just trust my gut that I know what to do. It's like there's just something inside of you that says, you go that way. That's it. We don't have to really debate. We don't have to invoke our conscious mind. Okay? That we have such a depth of experience, such a wealth of experience here. It's kind of like second nature now. I think we need to rely on that because we start thinking about this too much. And what happens? We got the 7, 8, 9. We get a 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is despair. 9 of Swords is I'm pulling my hair out. I'm lamenting this life. I'm losing sleep at night. I'm frazzled, right? So we want to avoid that. So I think Spirit is saying that you have enough wisdom inside of you that you can trust yourself. Okay? Trust what you believe is the right choice here, the right answer. And as we're moving forward, we have a Princess of Swords, and to me that's kind of like, that is trusting our first kind of thought, right? The Princess of Swords, the way forward, the Imago, position 6. This is usually a card that says, don't trust your first idea, right? Because this is a very impulsive card. This is, I have a thought and I act on it. And usually we say, let's separate those two. Let's separate our thoughts from our actions. We don't have to act out every idea, every thought we have. Not every thought is gold, you know? And so we tend to throw out the first, it's like you're telling your company here, everybody give me 10 ideas by the end of the day. And you take those 10 ideas, you throw them away, and you say, okay, now give me 10 more ideas. Those are the keepers. Get all the bad ideas out of the way first, right? Usually this card, but right now I'm kind of feeling like, no, we need to trust this. And even in the crescent moon at the top of the 7 of Swords shows we got to trust that intuition. There's something inside of you that knows. Now, this is a card, again, impulsive. Trust your first instinct. It's kind of like automatic. When someone asks you, you want to go left or right? What's your answer? Don't hesitate. First thing that comes to your mind. Are you staying or are you going? Do you want this or do you want that? What's the right answer? And then you just blurt out the first thing that comes to you, all right? And that's closer to intuition. The longer we wait, the more we think, the more our conscious, logical mind gets in the way. We get further and further away from the intuition, you see. So this card is asking you to respond intuitively, spontaneously, instantly. Don't buffer yourself. Don't hesitate, right? Don't censor yourself. Don't open your mouth to speak and then say, no, wait a minute. We're filtering ourselves, right? Putting too much space between our thought and our behavior. We're going to say something, but then, nope. I'm going to think about it for a while before I speak. And usually this is a very good card in that way. It says, let's think before we speak. Let's put a little space between our good idea and our behavior, right? Because your first idea is probably the worst one, right? In your case, I feel like it's the exact opposite because of the lunar symbols in these cards, right? And the way forward for you is to trust the first thing that comes to your mind right now, because that's going to be closer to your heart. Don't have a lot of water energy here. Okay? We don't have a lot of water energy here. So trusting that instinct, trusting that first thing that comes to your mind, that's going to be a little bit closer to what you really, truly want. And you've been through it enough. You've been through you've had the experience to the point where you can trust yourself. It's kind of like you've done this enough. You've reached such a level with this that you could pretty much do it with your eyes closed. It's kind of like, it's the Luke Skywalker, trust in the Force, Okay, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. And as we do, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. These readings are free, and it really does help out the channel when you subscribe. I think it's something like 40 or 50% of people that watch this channel regularly aren't subscribed. Okay? And it's easy to do. It doesn't cost anything. Just click the subscribe button. It really promotes the channel, and it helps me kind of stay in the algorithm, And I really appreciate that. So your general energy, the persona here, what other people see. You're somebody that does have everybody's best interest at heart. This is the Lover's card, right? I think that this is probably more of a family thing than anything else. This is sometimes that card of like a family bond, family union. And I think we know that whatever decision we make right now is going to probably end up upsetting somebody. We can't please all the people all the time. Okay, maybe we're simply choosing what we're having for dinner tonight. You pick, excuse my voice, I've been doing this a long time. You choose Mexican food, you're going to make somebody happy, somebody not happy. You choose Indian food, you're going to make somebody else very happy, somebody else not so happy. You have to consider intuitively, instinctually, what is it that you want to do, not worried about how other people are going to sort of react to it. Does that make sense? This card is a choice. This is a card that's saying I'm committing to something, and nothing's gonna separate me from that. Okay, it's the Lover's card. It doesn't mean that it has to be romance. In fact, I really don't think this is anything romantic. But I feel like this is your commitment to your decision. It's like once you make a decision, you got to marry yourself, right? Look at this card. This is a marriage. It's a wedding ceremony. We've got to marry ourselves to our choice here. Whatever this is about, you got to commit to it. And so when we marry ourselves to our choice, then doesn't matter what anybody else says. This is what's happening. Maybe this has to do with your kids or something like that. It has to do something kind of a money thing. I don't know. Once you decide, it's it. I've put my foot down. I set it in stone. No more deliberation. Doesn't matter what they say. It's done. It's like I've made my ruling, and it's gospel now. It's written down in the books. It's unerasable. I've set it in stone. And that's the kind of commitment that you need right now. Okay. And I wonder even if, there are some people in your life that feel they can sort of sweet talk you into doing what they want. And sometimes with that, we've got to really put our foot down. And sometimes we have to make the decisions that it's kind of like, look, this is for everybody's best interest. I know you're probably not happy right now in the moment, but trust me. I'm not going to do anything that's going to intentionally harm you in any way. This is going to be good for you. And I feel like that's kind of coming because of this, because of the Knight of Cups in the position of the anxiety or the fear, worry, concern. Okay, because I feel like that might be a Cancer sign person that kind of knows how to pull your strings a little bit, kind of knows how to tug on your emotions, and I think that we're kind of not susceptible to that right now. We don't see any other water energy in the reading, right? So I feel like you're not falling for that kind of sweet talking energy, though they will attempt it. In the environment, we have a Prince of Wands, and that's kind of the this is a relationship, or this is something in the environment, and to me this feels like somebody who is fixed in their will. This is kind of like the inaction of that decision. We make the decision, we marry ourselves to a decision, and then we have to follow through. Then we have to be consistent, okay? And now we have this fixed fire energy. It's a Leo energy. And I think that it's kind of like now, it's almost like now the pressure's on, because you have to commit yourself to your decision. I feel like in a way, whatever happens, the important thing is that you stick to your decision. Okay? This is that card that's saying I've set my intention, and no convincing, no argument, no appeals, no amount of tears are going to get me to change course. Okay? It's almost a stubborn energy. It's a commitment. It really is. It's a motivation that I'm fixed in my intention, and we have to be that way. We have to be kind of fiery. We have to put our foot down. We have to be strong. We have to be courageous. This is kind of like the cruise control. It's like once I turn that cruise control on, that's it. That's the speed we're going. And so in a way, it's kind of like saying, let's implement the choice as quickly as possible, and let's set it up so it cannot be changed. It's kind of like we file it away. Once you register it with the government, that's it, it's done. I can't change it. So it's something to me feels, it feels like a pretty big thing. And I want to say it's something to do with finances or some kind of spending of money, right? And this is you kind of putting that money where it needs to go, and then I don't even have access to it anymore. I can't change it even if I want. So stop asking kind of vibe. Yeah. I feel like you do have, there are, I feel like kind of half the people here support you, the other half of the people don't or won't. Yeah. I feel like this is kind of the courage to be disliked. This is the courage to say, you know what, yeah, some people aren't going to be happy with what I'm doing, and that's okay. I'm not going to be, because he is fire and water, right? So I feel like we're strong enough now to resist that emotional appeal, or to resist that fact that, like my daughter sometimes says to me, I've got a 5-year-old daughter. When I have to tell her no to something, right? She says, well, I'm not going to be your friend. And, and it's a manipulation, obviously, right? Trying to appeal to my emotions, thinking I'm going to say, oh, well, I really want you to be my friend, so here, you can have the candy, right? But it's them saying, sorry, you know what, I love you, but the answer's still no. And then she'll storm off, and then she'll forget about it in 5 minutes, and it'll be fine. But this is the idea that you have to be courageous enough to be disliked. Okay? The courage to be disliked. Now, the next card is, of course, the fear, worry, concern. And this is, in a way, it's sort of the fear that we're making the wrong choice. But that's a card of love and affection. That's a card of the giving and receiving of love and affection. It's the card of passion. It's the card of kind of like following my gut, following my heart, doing what I think is right, but also, worrying that other people aren't going to see this as being a very kind thing. And maybe you're somebody, too, that you don't really like being so firm and fixed and fiery, right? Maybe you don't like putting your foot down. Maybe you're a softie. You want to give everybody what they want. You want to make everybody happy. And the fact that we can't right now is hard. It's difficult to do. Okay. I think this is also what feels like a Cancer sign person. Now, there's a connection with Bakersfield for you. And I don't know, there's the chickens. I don't know, chickens in Bakersfield, what is that? I think it's maybe for somebody specific. There's like a chicken restaurant or something in Bakersfield that you go to. I don't know why that's coming through. To me, this could be somebody, like I said, somebody trying to sweet talk you, somebody trying to appeal to your emotions, make you feel guilty, or draw you and saying, well, I don't want to be your friend anymore, to try to get you to change course, okay? But I feel like you're standing your ground. And I think that's very important right now, whatever this is. You know instinctively the right thing to do, and it's not always easy to do the right thing. Because sometimes, we just want to be liked. So, sometimes I'll give my daughter the piece of candy because I just want her to like me, right? This is a situation where you can't do that. It feels like the stakes are very high here. We can't give in, we can't budge on this because it feels like it's a very serious thing. We have the Prince of Pentacles at the end here. That's the builder energy. This is the Taurus energy again. Double Taurus, right? So I feel like your experience, your wisdom, your recommendation, your decision, and your sticking to it, your endurance, your fortitude is really going to pay off, right? With this Prince of Pentacles, it's kind of like you're being proven right. Kind of like saying, I know everything, right? And then it's like, here, I just proved it. I know the right thing to do in this situation. You're going to have to listen to me. I'm making the decision. I'm putting my foot down. I'm setting it in stone. And then, it may be that's not a fun energy to have. Kind of like saying, I know better, right? When it's just like, in all honesty, I don't know better, But in this case, I'm saying, I know better, and this is my decision. Well, this now is things working out the right way. It's kind of like you're going to say, I told you so. It's like, aren't you glad you listened to me, right? Because I think that the correctness of your decision is going to be proven by its results. The consequences, right, the outcome that you're going to see is going to reinforce that decision making. They say, okay, I made the right choice because things worked out the way I thought they would. So it's a big relief, It's because I think we're not sure, and the Princess of Swords, I think, is feeling that way too. I don't know that this is going to work out. I know what my gut tells me. I know what my experience tells me. This is the decision I'm making. I'm putting my foot down, but I'm biting my nails. because we don't know. I think as things work out, as you see this thing working the way you expected it to, it's going to reinforce, it's going to give you that relief, it's going to satisfy you. You're going to say, whew, okay, it worked out the way I thought. Because one, I think we're going to lose a little bit of pride here. If we're wrong, it's going to suck. But I think you're going to be proven right, and I think it's going to be a big relief. And I honestly think that everybody eventually is going to come around to realize that you made the best decision. Okay, but it may be that there's going to be a little bit of fighting, a little bit of animosity, a little bit of hurt feelings, a little bit of friction until the results happen, whatever they might be. Okay, you have good, Spirit saying you have good money instincts. Yeah, this is something about money. All right, let's look at our mystery card. This is position 11, the guide, the voice of the silence within you. It is the message from Spirit. It is usually a character quality we have to develop in order to travel forward, to move forward into the right direction. So I feel like this is kind of going to be an indication of what your decision is. And maybe it's going to be a yes or a no. Maybe it's going to be something more specific. I don't know. Let's see what it is. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is a longer-term investment. 7 of Pentacles is saying you're choosing to do something now that may seem like a loss. It may seem like I'm spending money. It may seem like I had $100, now I've got 25. Trust me, give it a little bit of time, it's going to come back even bigger. Okay, so I feel like this is a choice that you're making that's not going to see immediate results. If this was immediate, you can say, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like by putting that money in, you instantly get something out. It's like you put money in one of those machines. Watch, I put 25 cents in, I turn the handle, I got a gumball. Instant reward, right? We live in the time, in the day and age now of kind of like delayed returns, delayed gratification. The postponement of the, you know, in a way, I guess, in other ways, we kind of live in the instant gratification world. But this is one of those situations where we have to sort of invest in it, tend to it, and it will come back more than what we put in a long-term investment. And I think it's very hard to sell that to people. Because even if this is a business thing, a family thing, they're like, no, I want a return now. If I'm spending money now, I want to get the thing back now. I want it to be an exchange right now. I pay $1, I get a sandwich. I don't know where you're getting a $1 sandwich, but let me know if you find one. You know, it's like we want that instantaneous return. But this 7 of Pentacles is saying this is something that you have to invest in it now. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be worth it. This is a delayed return on an investment, okay? So it feels like it's something that's a little bit longer term, and that makes sense now why everybody's got their own opinions. What you should do with this. Maybe we have a lump sum, maybe we've got some money, we got a tax return, we got a bonus at work, and it's like, how do we spend it? Let's take a vacation. Let's go out to dinner, right? Something quick and instant gratification. And you're saying, well, no. Let me put that in some investment account, or let me buy something, you know, different. Do something different with it. And everybody's saying, no, you should do this. No, you should do that. Put it in there. Put it in stocks. Put it in bonds. Put it in CDs. Put it in treasury things. Put it in, I don't know, a savings account. Put it in the mattress, right? Buy this, buy that. Everybody's got an opinion. When it comes to spending money, there's no shortage of ideas. You have to trust in your idea. You have those good money instincts. And it's something that may be a delayed gratification. Maybe you're not going to get any kind of joy from it for a while. But when you do, oh boy, I feel like it's going to be big. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be big. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Leo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. And let me know where to find a $1 sandwich. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we are all in this together.